Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of the podcast. A little different this week as we are featuring several members of Jump Force. For a lot of people, social media is the dream job. And the last time I talked to some of my friends, kids at a family get together, all of them said they wanted to be YouTubers or TikTokers. And then in this episode, we're going to kind of talk with some of Vegas's best and brightest, really living the social media dream and talking about how they've done this and what it takes to do it. We'll explore some of the inner workings of Jump Force, the biggest social media company in Vegas, and how they operate. And I also wanted to thank my wife, Ayumi, for having this idea for the podcast episode. Paul Ryu, Mindy Rogers, and Jeremy Witt parlayed their talents over 2 years ago and started Jump Force, handling multiple clients with countless success stories from local mom and pop restaurants to national lifestyle and food and beverage brands. Some like Station Casinos, Jonga with their very memorable sushi burgers, Island Flavor, Taco y Taco, Rachel's Kitchen. There are so many ways to run social media. My wife and I handle pretty much everything ourselves, but there's definitely proof in the power of numbers, and there's an elite cast who we have here that do this. And I consider myself kind of a friend with benefits with Jump Force, and I guess. And then during Paul's episode of the podcast in episode 4, he was extremely effusive in his praise of the team, shouting out several people that we're featuring here. Obviously, with social media these days, there is no traditional path to doing this. So we're just going to kind of show that right off the bat with these members, kind of introducing themselves and talking about what they did before joining Jump and what led them to do what they're doing now. So we're going to go kind of in order. Tyler, if you could kind of introduce yourself and talk about maybe what you were doing before you were at Jump.
Hi, I'm Tyler. Before Jump, I delivered pizzas, actually. I've always kind of been into photography, so as a hobby, Paul starting Jump was kind of partway through our friendship. So I kind of saw him being a foodie before in the beginning of Instagram, but I just really do all of the not iPhone stuff, the DSLR and, like product photography, any kind of DSLR video stuff. So, but yeah, before I was a pizza delivery guy. I just liked photography.
Okay. What's your favorite kind of pizza?
Oh man, that depends on like the region. Like, what's my favorite kind of New York pizza, or my favorite kind of Chicago pizza? I would say New York cheese pizza. Bronx pizza from San Diego has been on my mind lately.
Next up in the roundtable, we have Sofia Fan, aka Sofia Food Fan. Food is her middle name. Sofia, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So Sofia Food Fan is actually my new username. I used to be Taste of Vegas. I worked in entertainment for many years, and during the pandemic, I was looking for a new job. And I ran into Phil one day, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "I'm actually looking for a job." And he was like, "Go talk to Paul." And I'm like, "Who's Paul?" And he's like, "It's Ryu Sauce." So I looked him up and then set up a meeting, and Paul brought me in. And we sat down, and he was like, "You can come do some sort of social content for us." And we didn't know exactly what that meant, but we decided to do Facebook ads. So I went into Facebook ad training. I knew absolutely nothing about Facebook ads. And after doing some training, we just went with it. And today it's a year later, and I'm still doing Facebook ads for Jump Force. So it's all really exciting. And then now I'm actually back at the Cosmopolitan as well. So I'm just doing that full time. But here we are.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Awesome to have you.
Thank you for having
Next
us.
up, we got Tony Ryan, aka Oligato, with over 18K on IG. Tony, what were you doing before Jump?
I was actually in luxury real estate. I was a transaction coordinator full-time. I did that for over 6 years. And I honestly always had, a foodie heart, and I've always done Yelp and all the fun food stuff on the side. But I finally decided maybe real estate isn't my passion. So I decided to quit my job. And my first day ever with Jump Force, my first day walking into the office was day one of COVID lockdown last year. So I literally walked in the office and nobody was here. But it was nice. It's a great office here. It's clean. They feed me a lot of snacks and soda. And it's a cool little crash pad. Just come here, you know, set up, post, and not really have to see anybody. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, one thing that I see from the outside is, you know, everyone seems to get along with everyone and clicks really well and really knows how to work together. The office seems like a super fun place to be. And I think that's generally the idea in social media, that if you work in this, it's not office work or 9 to 5. It's just kind of a whole different thing. So that's cool. And next up, we got Julie Kim, aka Jules Kim, 3 M's, with over 11K on TikTok and 10K on IG. Julie, what were you doing before Jump?
Prior to Jump, I was the area director of operations and marketing for the largest network of chiropractic offices. I met Paul at a marketing conference, I think 2 years ago, and we really hit it off. We kind of stayed in touch there. And then I moved to Denver right before the pandemic. And throughout 2020, I kind of did some soul searching. I got in a new relationship, and I just realized that I didn't want to be in Denver anymore. I wanted to go back to Vegas. I just kind of had this realization, like many people, that I didn't want to do anything that didn't make me happy anymore. So I moved back to Vegas, wasn't looking for a job. I didn't have any intention of looking for a job. I was just going to help my fiance with his suit business, and then also focus on our podcast, which is kind of on a hiatus right now. Shout out to Get Wooed Pod.
Get Wooed Pod.
Whoop, whoop.
What's up, Kelly?
And, you know, Paul and Jeremy reached out to me about just kind of taking on more with Jump. And I just thought it was really good timing, and I decided to come on board full time.
Awesome. And finally, last but not least, Emily Romero, aka Eat Me Las Vegas, who's actually the first guest on my podcast 19 weeks ago, with over 85K on IG and 48K on TikTok. Emily, why don't you give us a little bit of an idea what you were doing before you joined Jump?
I think I mentioned a little during the last podcast, but I was working in marketing and communication, a lot of project management. And I've been doing this on the side, this Instagram, social media stuff on my own, and I've been seeing everybody around me. I've known you for over a decade. I've known Paul for a really long time. I don't think any of us ever knew what anyone else did. So one day he kind of just asked me, like, what do you do for a living? And he was like, after he heard, he's like, that's exactly what we need here. So I kind of just made the jump, and I've been here for over 2 years now.
Awesome. So, I mean, like I mentioned before, there are different ways that people do social media, and what I found interesting with Jump is kind of how you guys set up specifically with account management. The traditional thinking had been in the past was where one person would run everything about the accounts, yet you guys opt to divvy up the work, which I think is a great idea. Just in case something comes up, you always have someone else that can cover and things like that. Do you mind shedding some light, if one of you guys could shed some light on how an account is run through Jump?
Do you want to take that, Julie, or do you want me to?
Like, let's not all go at once.
Well, it's more of a productized model. We've kind of been working towards it being more of an agency type organization. So, we do divvy up each of the tasks for each job, and we find the person who's the right role for each of those. I'm the head of the production for the most part. Julie is the head of the client services. Obviously, there is some crossover. There's quite a few clients that I actually handle the client services for, and vice versa. And then as far as each of the tasks, we just find the right person for creating content. We have the right, depending on what the deliverables for each client are. And then we find someone who fits the right for that role of posting, et cetera. Obviously, there is some, overlap as far as who's creating content, who's posting, but, we do try to keep it very organized so that anyone could come in and assist with any account if they're needed to be.
Okay, cool. So say, for example, for a new restaurant that comes in, there will be a client services person and then the content creators themselves?
Yeah, so typically how it goes is there's a client services person, there's an account executive, that's typically the one that sets up the account and brings that account in. Then you have production in terms of production management and actually posting. And we usually have some content assistants as well. But I find that doing it that way, like Emily said, it's so much better because everybody kind of has ownership with that account and there's more accountability. You can share the responsibility as well. And then I find that the client finds more value with having, a team of 5 people who are helping them on this one account versus just one person trying to do everything.
And it helps, I think, keep the account fresh. There's always multiple sets of eyes on it. So everyone can have some input and you can always try new things and see what's working, see what's not, and kind of reset from there.
Yeah, I can see that. So, Tony, so you're primarily like the creator, the producer?
I primarily do account management, content creation.
Okay. And then do you do the post? So you mentioned that someone else would do the posting. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around it. So would you do the actual posting as well? Okay.
I'm a unique unicorn. I do it all.
Okay.
I like to keep my hands in a lot of creative aspects in the company. So I like to create, content creation, photography. I came in pretty new, but I was able to learn a lot from just everyone around me. Everyone's very helpful, and also just watching them, how they succeed on their own feeds. That also has helped me be able to incorporate that in everything that I do.
Okay, cool. And then how does Facebook ads incorporated with all this? Is it a completely separate thing, or is it part of everyone's campaign, or is it customized?
I am the only person who actually runs Facebook ads inside of Jump Force currently. But basically, we all play a helping hand in creating content for the ads. So when I'm about to push out an ad, I will go through everyone's content and find the best video that works for it. And then I usually work with Emily and Julie in finding the right caption for it. And then Paul will kind of baby me through all of the budgeting for it. And we just send the results to the clients afterwards. And we just pivot from there, make changes.
Okay, cool. Obviously, TikTok has changed everyone's lives in the last year as far as for marketing and all that. How has it changed for you guys, and where do you feel like where things are as of now?
It's definitely been a big part of our production going forward. Most of our clients, if they aren't already on TikTok or we're not helping them manage their TikTok, they're definitely interested in discussing it. So it's something that we're constantly having to, connect with the clients on and discuss what options they'd like or what they need for their business. So we've been incorporating that quite a bit.